Bluey, baby. Sugar, y'all better sit down for this one, because the timeline is about to combust before the weekend even hits, and I promise you nobody is going to walk out of this video the same way they walked in. Blueface, our favorite train wreck rapper, the man who has spent the last 5 years turning his own personal life into a national reality show, has done it again. But this time, honey, this time it's different. Because for the very first time in the entire Blueface saga, the man didn't get exposed by Chrisean Rock, he didn't get exposed by Jaidyn Alexis, he didn't get exposed by Nevaeh, and he didn't get exposed by any of the women whose lies he has been dragging through the mud for years. No, sweetheart. This time, Blueface exposed himself. On camera, in public, in broad daylight, with a plate of chicken strips in his hand, of all things. And the whole world watched him do it. Now for the backstory, because I know some of y'all are new to the Blueface circus, and if you've been living under a rock for the last few years, I'm about to catch you up in about 30 seconds. Blueface has been at the center of every messy headline you can imagine, from the Chrisean Rock knockdown brawls to the Jaidyn Alexis baby mama battles, from the strip club antics to the prison bid, and honestly, at this point, watching a Blueface story feels less like celebrity gossip and more like a soap opera you can't stop binging. But every single one of those stories has had one thing in common. Every single one. Blueface has always been the man in the middle of it, laughing, trolling, throwing hands, making enemies. Blueface always plays it like the untouchable king of the chaos. Blueface always acts like nothing sticks to him. And Blueface always walks away from every scandal grinning like he pulled one over on all of us again. But not this week. Not this footage. Not this moment. Because in a short clip that has now bounced across every corner of the internet, Blueface walks up to what looks like a fast food counter, orders his food, and immediately starts flirting with the person taking his order. Flirting hard, complimenting them, asking for their number. And, y'all, when I tell you the whole culture froze the second that video dropped, I mean the whole culture froze. Because the person Blueface was flirting with was not, in fact, a woman. And Blueface, the same Blueface who has spent years playing tough guy hypermasculine street rapper on every stage he can climb onto, was standing there, in front of the entire internet, in real time, playing every card in the flirtation deck. Trust and believe. The clip is only about a minute long, but that 1 minute is doing more damage to Blueface's public image than 5 years of Chrisean Rock chaos ever did. Because there is no denying what your own eyes are seeing. Blueface looks. Blueface studies. Blueface locks eyes. Blueface says the words, out loud, to a person he has already looked in the face, that this person looks, quote-unquote, real good. And then, when the person he is flirting with tells him the truth, right there at the counter, calmly, honestly, without any drama, Blueface tries to play it off with a joke. I know what you are, he says. And then, with that same signature Blueface smirk, he doubles down. You are a transformer. A transformer. That's the joke he pulled out. That's the joke Blueface thought was going to save him. But baby, the joke didn't save him. The joke buried him. Because the internet, honey, the internet is not slow. The internet clipped that footage before Blueface's plate of chicken strips even hit the table. The internet ran it back. The internet slowed it down. The internet zoomed in. And the internet came to one single, unanimous, culture-wide verdict. Blueface knew. Blueface knew from the second he opened his mouth. Blueface knew before he even said hello. Blueface knew, and Blueface still flirted anyway. Anyway now, let me back up, because I don't want y'all to think this is one isolated incident, one weird moment, one bad day for a rapper who just made a dumb joke. No, honey, this is a pattern. This is a whole pattern that stretches back years, and the receipts on it are older than half of Blueface's discography. Back in 2019, when Blueface was still one of the hottest names in the game off the back of Thoshiana, a transgender woman came forward publicly and claimed that Blueface had slid into her direct messages and tried to talk to her romantically. That was 7 years ago. 7 whole years. And I remember it clearly, because that was one of the very first stories the culture ever tried to have about Blueface. Back when nobody even really knew who he was outside of the music. The story got laughed off at the time. Blueface denied it. Blueface team denied it. And the internet moved on. Because in 2019, the internet moved on from everything in about 48 hours. But here's the thing, y'all. that story never actually died. It just went quiet. And every couple of years, without fail, another woman connected to Blueface has said the exact same thing. Chrisean Rock said it during one of their infamous fights. She said Blueface liked boys. Nevaeh said it during her own public breakdown. She said Blueface liked boys. Jaidyn Alexis said it. She said Blueface liked boys. Every single woman, and I mean every single one, who has ever been close enough to Blueface to know what is actually on his phone, in his search history, in his private conversations, has come out and said the exact same thing about him. And every single time, Blueface laughed it off, called it a lie, called them jealous exes, and kept it moving. Mark my words, this is the moment the culture stops laughing. Because now, the whispers those women were making, the accusations everyone said were just baby mama drama, have shown up in high-definition video, with time-stamped audio, on Blueface's own face, in his own voice, coming out of his own mouth. And baby, you cannot spin your way out of your own video. You just can't. Because the video is not a rumor. The video is not a receipt from a hater. The video is Blueface. Blueface, in the flesh, on camera, doing the exact thing every woman in his orbit spent years telling us he does behind closed doors. Now, folks close to the situation are whispering that this clip is only the surface. And the word bouncing around the culture right now is that there are more clips, more screenshots, more direct message threads floating around from people who have been sitting on them for years, waiting for the exact moment the tide turned on Blueface publicly. Well, sweetheart, the tide has turned. And the second that first clip broke, the phones of every reality blog owner from Los Angeles to New York started ringing off the hook. Because that is how the culture works. The moment the target goes down, everybody who was hiding something on him picks up the phone and starts making calls. But let's talk about what Blueface actually did in that video, because I don't want anyone watching this to think the internet is being unfair to him. I don't play that. If a man gets dragged, he better deserve every inch of the drag. And Blueface, baby, Blueface earned this one all by himself. Blueface walked up to that counter, tall as he is, looked directly down into the face of the person taking his order, and started flirting. He didn't glance and walk away. He didn't order and leave. He locked in. He complimented. He asked for the number. And every single person watching that video with functioning eyes could see, plain as day, that Blueface had every piece of information he needed to know exactly who he was talking to. That is why Blueface little, I know what you are a transformer, line hits so different, y'all. Because the joke only lands as a joke if Blueface didn't already know. And Blueface knew. Blueface knew before the joke. Blueface knew during the flirt. Blueface knew when he asked for the number. And Blueface still asked. That is the part the internet cannot let go of. Because if Blueface had walked away the second he found out, the culture would have shrugged, called it an honest mistake, and moved on with our week. But Blueface didn't walk away. Blueface leaned in. Blueface joked. Blueface stayed at the counter. Blueface ordered his chicken strips like nothing at all had just happened. And that, baby, is why every single ex-partner of Blueface is currently sitting somewhere with a glass of wine, texting each other, saying the same 3 words. I told y'all. Chrisean Rock told y'all. Jaidyn Alexis told y'all. Nevaeh told y'all. Every single one of those women, at some point in their public feuds with Blueface, tried to warn the culture about what Blueface really likes, and every single time the culture dismissed them as bitter, angry, or attention-seeking. Well, honey, the receipts just walked into a fast food restaurant on camera. The receipts asked for 2-for-1 chicken strips. The receipts requested a number. So the next time one of these women says something about Blueface, maybe, just maybe, the culture will finally take her seriously the first time. And listen, I want to be very clear about something before this video goes any further, because I don't play games with grown people's identities. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a man liking men. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a man being attracted to trans people. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a man living his truth openly, honestly, and publicly. None of that is the problem. None of that has ever been the problem. Not with Blueface, not with any celebrity, not with anybody. The problem, baby, is not the attraction. The problem is the lie. The problem is a grown man spending 5 straight years wrecking women's lives, dragging their names, dragging their bodies, dragging their reputations. all while allegedly living an entirely separate romantic life that nobody in his orbit was allowed to talk about without getting called a liar. That is why this Blueface footage matters. Because Blueface hasn't just been dating women. Blueface has been destroying them. Blueface has been publicly humiliating Chrisean Rock for years. Blueface has been dragging Jaidyn Alexis on live streams for years. Blueface has been using Nevaeh as a pawn in some kind of never-ending relationship war, and Blueface has been treating every woman who steps into his life like she is disposable, replaceable, and unworthy of basic respect. And if the whispers turn out to be true, if Blueface has been living the double life the culture is now openly discussing, then everything Blueface has done to these women starts to make a very different kind of sense. Because a man who actually wants the woman in his life does not treat her the way Blueface has been treating these women. A man who is happy in his own skin does not spend every waking hour publicly degrading the mother of his children. A man who is at peace with himself does not turn every romantic relationship into a headline. Something has been off with Blueface for a very long time, y'all, and the women who have been closest to him have been telling us exactly what that something is for years. We just refuse to listen. Now for the receipt everyone is going to want. Blueface's own dashboard has been full of red flags for years, and if you follow the trail closely enough, you'll find that Chrisean Rock, in the middle of one of their most infamous public breakups, went on record saying that she had personally found things on Blueface's phone. Not rumors, not gossip, not hearsay, actual content, actual searches, actual browsing history. And Chrisean Rock said, very plainly, that what she found made her look at Blueface as a completely different person. At the time, the internet dismissed her, called her hysterical, called her jealous, called her a liar. Now, with this new footage floating around, Chrisean Rock's words look less like an angry rant and more like a public warning that the entire culture ignored. And this, baby, is where the story gets even stickier for Blueface. Because in a single week, Blueface has managed to make every accusation, every whisper, every rumor, every ex-girlfriend's rant, and every random Twitter theory suddenly sound completely, terrifyingly reasonable. Because everything the culture spent years dismissing about Blueface has now been backed up by one single piece of video. And video, y'all, does not lie. Screenshots can be faked. Text messages can be edited. Stories can be twisted. But when a man walks up to a counter, flirts with a person, is told the truth, and stays flirting anyway, there is no editing that can save him. Anyway, now, let's talk about the response, because Blueface has not stayed quiet. Blueface never stays quiet. Blueface is currently doing what Blueface always does after he gets caught, which is going online, posting angry rants, blaming everyone else, calling the person in the video a liar, calling the people sharing the clip haters, and generally trying to redirect the conversation to anything except the actual content of the video. Blueface is claiming he was joking. Blueface is claiming it was trolling. Blueface is claiming he knew what he was doing the whole time and that the flirt was performance art. But here's the thing, sugar, that is not the defense Blueface thinks it is. Because I was joking and I meant it the whole time cannot both be true. And every time Blueface opens his mouth to explain, he digs the hole a little deeper. Meanwhile, the culture at large is having a completely different conversation. Because for the first time in the entire Blueface saga, the conversation is no longer about who Blueface is fighting with, who Blueface is sleeping with, or who Blueface is currently sending text messages to at 3 in the morning. The conversation is about Blueface. Just Blueface. Blueface, his identity, his history, his choices, his pattern, and the years of dust he has left behind him. And when the culture finally stops asking who a celebrity is dating and starts asking who a celebrity actually is, that is when the celebrity's career enters the danger zone. I need y'all to understand something. Blueface is not the first rapper to get caught in a moment like this, and he will not be the last. But Blueface is one of the very few celebrities who has burned so many bridges on the way up that when the moment finally comes, there is not a single ally left standing to defend him. Chrisean Rock is not defending him. Jaidyn Alexis is not defending him. Nevaeh is not defending him. His own mother has been publicly at war with him for years. The other rappers in his generation have quietly distanced themselves. The industry doesn't even pretend to promote his music anymore. And now, with this footage flying around, the last thin thread of hard street rapper mystique that Blueface had been holding on to for dear life has just snapped clean in half. Because you cannot be the hardest man in the room and the man in the video at the same time. And Blueface, at this exact moment, has to pick one. Blueface has to decide right now, in front of the entire culture, which version of himself he actually is. And no matter which version he picks, one entire half of his fanbase is going to walk out the door. Let me be honest with y'all for a moment, because I've been covering Blueface stories for years, and I have never once said what I am about to say. Blueface, if you are watching this, and I know somebody on your team is going to send you this video before the night is over, this is the moment. This is the fork in the road. You can keep lying. You can keep denying. You can keep dragging the mothers of your children, hoping the noise drowns out the video. Or, Blueface, you can drop the mask, drop the trolling, drop the performance, and finally, live the truth these women have been trying to tell the world about you for the last 5 years. Because the mask is heavy, sugar. The mask is exhausting. And the mask has clearly, based on that video, been slipping for a long time. If Blueface actually did that, if Blueface actually stepped forward and said, "This is who I am, this is what I like, and I am done pretending," half the culture would applaud him. Half the culture would say finally. Half the culture would move on and let the man live his life. But Blueface won't do it. Because Blueface has built his entire brand on being the loudest, hardest, most hyper-masculine caricature the streaming era has ever produced. And dropping that brand would mean walking away from the only version of Blueface that has ever paid the bills. So Blueface, instead, is going to keep spinning, keep denying, keep trolling, and keep hoping the news cycle moves on before the next clip drops. But the next clip, baby, is already loading. That is how this always ends. The moment the first video breaks on a celebrity like Blueface, the second one is already on somebody's phone, and the third one, and the fourth. And the group chat of people who have been sitting on Blueface material for years is currently lighting up in ways Blueface cannot see and cannot stop. So no matter what he posts tonight, no matter what he denies tomorrow, no matter how many angry live streams he does over the weekend, the next drop is coming, and it will be worse than the first one. That is why I keep telling y'all, in every video I make, that the truth about a celebrity always comes out. Always. It might take 5 years. It might take 10. It might take a whole ex-wife, an ex-fiancé, 2 baby mothers, and a fast food cashier standing behind a counter with a plate of chicken strips. But the truth eventually finds the light. And Blueface, the truth just found you at the register, sweetheart. In broad daylight. On camera. With sound. With witnesses. With the entire internet running the tape back frame by frame. So here is where I leave y'all tonight. Because I know your fingers are already itching to hit that comment section, and I want to hear every single one of your takes on this. 2 questions. First one, do you think Blueface actually knew from the very first second of that interaction? Or do y'all really believe he was just too oblivious to figure it out until the very end? And second one, if more clips do drop in the next few weeks, and I promise you they will, does Blueface's career survive it? Or is this, finally, the beginning of the end for the Blueface era in hip-hop? Because personally, I think we are watching the exact moment a career decides which way it's going to fall, and I don't think Blueface is going to like which way the wind is currently blowing. Trust and believe, I am going to be right back here the second the next clip drops, and if you don't want to miss it, you know exactly what to do. But before you go anywhere, drop your verdict down below in the comments, because I read every single one of them, and I already know y'all have opinions on this one. Blueface, baby, you knew. The whole culture saw you know, and there is no unseeing it now. Look, one last thing before I let y'all go, because I know somebody is going to say I was too easy on Blueface, and I want to be absolutely crystal clear on where I stand. Nobody is mad that Blueface flirted with a person he found attractive. Nobody in this comment section is going to attack a grown man for being attracted to whoever he is attracted to. That is not the culture we are in anymore, and honestly, that is not the culture we should ever have been in. The culture we are in is one where lying, hiding, and dragging innocent women through public hell to protect your own image is finally being called what it is. And Blueface, if these whispers are true, has been doing exactly that for years. So the anger the internet is throwing at Blueface tonight, baby, is not about who Blueface likes. The anger is about who Blueface hurt on the way to hiding it. And that is a very different conversation. Sugar, and it is one Blueface is going to have to face, whether he is ready or not. Anyway now, comments open, verdict time, and I'll catch every one of you the second the next chapter of this saga drops.